Welcome back to Out of the Blue. I'm Andrew Ottman. Nick Duggar is a proud MTSU alum, and he is not shy about telling you how this university helped him find success in both television and event production. His passion for our university, especially for the Scott Borchetta College of Media and Entertainment, is front and center. And as executive director of the Mid-South Emmy Awards, he has helped MTSU students play a large role in its annual Emmy Awards telecast. Nick, it is great having you back on campus.
It is so nice to be here, and I admit it's been a little while.
It has been a minute, right?
It's shocking how much of this comes flooding back, and walking through the halls of the LRC, it's 1998 again, and I'm in here after hours when I probably shouldn't be playing with some of the TV gear, but all very happy memories.
Well, I tell you, the partnership we have between you and the Mid-South Emmys and MTSU has just really been remarkable in so many ways. It is a win-win, in a classic win-win sense. But before we get into the details of that, and there's a lot of talking here, you mentioned being a student here, and we were talking off camera that you had a great story to tell, connecting from 1996, and something about a call sheet board.
Yeah.
Tell us all about that.
Up in the Mass Comm building, I was a shiny new freshman here, just wide-eyed and excited. In one of the first weeks on campus of my freshman year, I would wander through the halls of the Mass Comm building, just trying to be around it. And there was a call board where people would post opportunities to work on shows. And weeks in, I see one that said, "Work at the Emmys." And I'm thinking to myself, the Emmys? The Emmys? They're recruiting MTSU students? So I put my name at the top of the list. It said, production assistant Brignolo, and I didn't know what that meant, but it was at the top of the list. Signed my name, went to my class, and thought about it, and came back after class, and I pulled it off the wall. And I crewed that call sheet with all of my friends. I took it upon myself to put together the Emmy.
You closed the signups?
I just pulled it off the wall. I mean, the audacity. If some kid did that to one of my call sheets, but I did. I crewed that Emmys with all my buddies. And it's funny now, I look back at the program book from that 1990 show. It was 1997 was the show. It's all my best friends from MTSU and all the crew positions. That began almost a 30-year opportunity with this organization that celebrates the best of what we do, the best in editing and the best in shooting and the best in lighting. That Brignolo, who I didn't know, was Geneva Brignolo, who was our chapter's executive director for 30 years.
Wow.
And previous to that, she was a hotshot producer in Nashville, working with a company called Diamond P Sports through the 70s and 80s, producing motorsports and content for TNN and the big networks. And then she took over the Emmy chapter. Well, I became her right hand and went on to be her intern, her board member, her board president ultimately. And unfortunately, about 3 years ago, Geneva passed away. After just a stellar career. We couldn't find a replacement. Nobody could fill those shoes, which were probably high heels. Nobody could fill those shoes. So as board president, I stepped up. I said, I'll give it a shot, thinking I have no idea what it means to be an executive director. But 2.5 years ago, stepped into that role, and it has been a perfect fit.
And it's been such a great opportunity for us. You were telling us that MTSU has really had a long history before you took this role connected with the Emmys. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of my projects when I took over the chapter 2 years ago was to work on our archive. We didn't have an online database of program books or these telecasts that we've been doing for 40 years, and I was thrilled to see in the first Mid-South Emmys, 40 years ago, Bob Gordon's name mentioned as a board member and a vice president. In the second annual Mid-South Emmys, I'm flipping through the book, and there's a whole full-page ad touting just MTSU grads that were doing amazing things in production. And through the last 40 years, this organization has been riddled with crew members, Emmy winners, recent graduates, current students winning student Emmys. The legacy of MTSU and the Emmy Awards in this region is 40 years long and only growing.
It's really incredible, and we were honored to walk away with an Emmy in 2024 for the commercial for our Scott Borchetta College of Media and Entertainment. We do it all. But we had students, thanks to you, that were actually doing the nuts and bolts of the video work of that presentation. So what was the impetus behind that? I mean, I'm going to put a lot of that on you because you saw the opportunity, said, I got to call my alma mater and make this happen.
Yeah, it was, I mean, looking back from that call sheet I pulled off the wall, MTSU has provided production assistants and in some cases, key crew roles for the telecast. But our Emmy Awards is a 3-hour live TV show, full production truck, 6, 7, 8 cameras, jibs, moving lights. It's a real TV opportunity. Geneva, in her day, was pretty insistent on staffing it with professionals. Most everyone volunteered, get the TV family together once a year. But having been a student in that role, having used students in many of the roles for years, I knew that MTSU was capable to be the crew. So now we have current students running camera, running the switcher, doing audio, doing playback. It is a student crew. We sprinkle in professionals because we want that day to be a day of not only networking, but mentorship. So we might have a professional director calling the cameras, but the young lady this year running the switcher, not a single mistake on the air in a 3-hour show. The camera operators, 100% MTSU students. There is no reason why the students here and the caliber at which they work can't produce this telecast. We're 3 years into this relationship, and I hope it lasts for decades. It's what I would have wanted when I was a student decades ago, and when I see the look of pride and honor in these students, we roll the credits on the big jumbotrons at the end of the show, and I'm watching camera operators just in stunned silence seeing their name amongst the rest of those crew members. I get goosebumps every year, and I hope to do it for many years.
And it's a great experience, like you said, for them. It's great on their resumes.
Yeah.
So Nick, how do students get connected to the Emmys, not only applying for them, but also the opportunities to work as part of the show?
I mean, truthfully, the best way these days is come to MTSU and be in that truck class.
Right answer.
Second to that, we keep up with our social media. You can follow Mid-South Emmys on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We have a call for entries every year.
Now, speaking of TV people, we brag so much about the mobile production line. We call it the truck. And we're very proud of the truck. $2 million we've invested in this and state of the art. We use that for the Emmys show. But there was a truck before the truck.
There was indeed.
And that truck before the truck, you worked on as a student, right?
It's why I came here.
Yeah.
When I was working in television in high school,
Yeah.
I didn't see the benefit of going to college personally.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad had other plans, but when I found out Middle Tennessee State University had a production truck that students actually had access to, it wasn't just a showpiece
Yeah.
to brag. Students were doing the work in this thing. I applied to one college and one college only. And luckily, my ACT score was just high enough to make it.
We got you in.
It's the only place I even applied, and I made a beeline to that truck the first day I was here.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I was in a class or not. I drove the staff and faculty crazy. If that truck moved, I wanted to be on it.
Hey, I can't let you go, Nick, until I let you give us some advice to prospective students. What does the Nick today wish he could have told the Nick back then that took the sign-up sheet down?
And I think this industry, it's taken over our world, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or the news or documentaries or Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hollywood movies. There is more production in our world today than ever in history. And I feel like there are hundreds of opportunities for students that want to run a camera, direct, build graphics, do motion design work. The key is starting as soon as possible. Do the work now. In the very studio we're sitting in, I used to do a student newscast 3 and 4 times a week, and I was awful, but I got my mistakes out of the way here.
Right.
This is where I put the boots on the ground and learned how to mix audio and learned how to do graphics and learned how to run camera. Make your mistakes, get those out of the way, so when you do make it here to school, or even better, when you graduate from here, you've got all those kinks worked out and you're ready to get to work as a professional. Start now. The sooner the better. And the facilities and resources here, second to none. That truck that's out there now, the fact that students still have access to that, if I were a senior in high school today, I would apply to one place to go to college for the resources here on this campus.
Well, thank goodness you applied to this campus, and we had the foresight to get you inside here.
Absolutely.
Super alum Nick Duggar, thank you for everything you've done for your alma mater and all the experiences you're continuing to offer to our students. We really appreciate it.
Here's to many more years. Looking
Okay.
forward to it.
All right, we're going to take you up on that.
Sounds good.